Well, it is the morning after, and we are dealing with the absolute brutal loss to the Baltimore Ravens, 38-6, in which the Detroit Lions scored one touchdown in the fourth quarter and was able to do nothing before that. So we come home with our tails between our legs, looking to get better as a team. And we face the Las Vegas Raiders at home. After being away for 2 weeks, our last home game was against the Carolina Panthers, and we're looking to get back in the win column. Losing sucks. Like, we won so much over the past 17 games, something like that. That feels weird. The Lions haven't lost two back-to-back all season, and last time they lost two back-to-back was before they started their streak last year after Aubrey Pleasant was fired. Well, there's something I've been talking about for the last 4.5 years. And I'm still talking about it now. And I've been talking about it. You already know from the thumbnail, I'm not going to stop talking about it until it gets better. That is the Detroit Lions pass rush, or should I say lack thereof. And we've seen it throughout the season. When 2022 was here and we had a chance to take Aiden Hutchinson, I knew we had to take him. And if it weren't not for him, we would be in big trouble. Our defensive line gets little to no pressure. We might be able to get pressure, but we can't get home. And if you can't get the quarterback down for a sack and loss of yards to make it more manageable for your defense in second and third and longs, it's going to be a long year and a long game. And we saw that yesterday. Now, whether or not Hutch was getting held, holding literally happens on every play. Sometimes he was getting held in the Seattle game when they scored the game-winning touchdown. We lost. It happens. It sucks, but it happens. It's part of the game. That's just the facts. There's nothing we can do about it. But what we can do is get some help for them. I just kind of wanted to show y'all where the Lions are right now in pass rush when it comes to sacks. Now, sacks are not the end-all, be-all, the be-all, end-all. That's how you say that. That's not what they are. But they are very important when it comes to getting to the quarterback and the potential outcome of games, right? So here is where the Lions rank in sacks. We're right in the middle of the pack. We're a little worse than middle. We have 15 on the season, which is ranked number 18th. There are 14 teams below us, I believe, if I count it right, and then 17 above us, right in the middle of the pack with 15. You know how many sacks we got yesterday? Yeah, that's how many. 0. None. You know how many sacks we got the game before that? 1. And the game before that, 1. I'm going to run you through the games. Game 1, no sacks. Game 2, 1 sack. Game 3, 7. Game 4, 15. Game 5, 1. Game 6, 1. Game 7, 0. For a total of 15 sacks. The Detroit Lions have accumulated 2 sacks in 3 games. 1 by Hutch, 1 by Julian Okwara. When we went on a sack streak and we sacked Desmond Ridder to the core of the earth and got 7, a lot of y'all was fooled because our pass rush is fine. In the comment section, we don't need a pass rush. Over and over and over. We don't need a pass rush. We got 7 sacks. Okay. Next week, we get 5 on Jordan Love. Let's look at the competition. I said this yesterday. Jordan Love probably holds the ball. Desmond Ridder probably holds the ball longer than Carson Wentz, who's not in the league, ironically. Then you have Jordan Love, who was looking crazy out there. His first legitimate this is his first, I think he was the starter of his 4th game. Kind of a rookie, so to speak, right? You take out those 2 games with those 12 sacks, we have 3 sacks in 5 games. I want you to listen to what I just said. We have 3 sacks in 5 games. If you take away the 12-game performance of those 2 games, game 3 and 4. So in games 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7, we have 3 sacks. We've gotten the quarterback 3 times. 3 sacks in 5 games. You take away those 12, we average less than 1 sack per game. The Baltimore Ravens yesterday are the number 1 team, and we didn't hurt that. Gave them 5 yesterday. They now have 29. It is not the be-all, end-all, but it does go a long way to winning games. Now, I recall hearing from a select few of you that Chase Young washed. Danielle Hunter washed. Brian Burns, we want him, right? Chase Young had 2 sacks yesterday. He has 5 on the season. He's leading Hutch by a half a sack. Yesterday, he was under Hutch by a sack and a half. Now he has more than Hutch. One thing that helps Chase is the defensive line. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat. Our guy, Aiden Hutchinson, is exhausted. He's beat. He's getting held. You know what they do? They put their best offensive lineman on Hutch. Holding him or not doesn't really matter. Holding happens on every play. We've seen it. They put their best offensive lineman on Hutch and go. Because who else is going to get to you? No one. No one's going to get to you. No one's going to sack you. No one's going to press. All these pressures and all that stuff is fine. When you face a mobile quarterback, and I know I'm here in the comment section, the running quarterbacks have always given the Detroit Lions a problem. That's facts. That's facts. But I recall a 3rd rounder that we drafted. His name is Broderick Martin, who is not in the game, who just maybe might be able to help with that. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to tell when he's not on the field. So what you hear from me is not same old Lions. It's a bit of frustration. I have not lost faith in this team. We're still going to win the North. We're still going to get to the playoffs. We're still going to win our first playoff game. All that stuff is happening. But if you want to go the distance, you have to have a game changer on your team. And Aiden can be that. But there's no one else. He can't change the game if you put 2 or 3 people on him because you have no fear of no one else. You can't even, the linebackers, I don't think Jack Campbell, none of them are getting to the quarterback. Like, so if you brought them like the Baltimore Ravens, Roquan Smith, they got guys, Queen, they're coming for us. And it works. We don't have that personnel. We don't have that. We have one guy, and I've been saying this over and over and over. And what you hear from me is frustration. But this loss yesterday was needed. I don't think Lions fans needed to be humbled. We said leading up to this game that this game was going to go a long way into determining what Brad Holmes needed to do by the trade deadline. And now we know. I knew already. You can check receipts. You can look at the videos. I knew. I've always known. Those 12 sacks in 2 games it did not pull the wool over my eyes. It did not. Brad Holmes needs to make a move by the trade deadline for a game-changing defensive lineman. I don't care if it's a DT or a DE, somebody that's going to be able to help the one-man show that is called Aiden Hutchinson out there get some pressure and get the quarterback down. These pressures are great. They're great. But we don't have the secondary to just get pressures. That's why sacks are so important. We don't have the secondary, the cornerbacks, to get pressure. Jerry Jacobs is out. He was out yesterday, and he's okay. He's okay. If you have a okay secondary, you need a dominant pass rush. 2 + 2 does not equal 5. It equals 4. And we have nothing out there. We have nothing out there. You let the 12 sacks in 2 games fool you. But if you look at the numbers, you take those 12 sacks away, we have 3 sacks in 5 games. 3 sacks in 5 games. It's very reminiscent of those first 2 games, isn't it? With 1 sack. And if Anzalone doesn't tackle Geno Smith, we have no sacks in 2 games. So don't be confused all of a sudden if the Lions go on a sack fest. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. You have to look at who we're playing, how long they held the football. Remember Aiden Hutchinson? He got his first sack. Y'all was ready to call him a bust. This video going, I got to get some stuff off my chest. I do. Y'all call him a bust. One of the reasons that we dominated the Washington Commanders is how long that Carson Wentz held the ball. And we did the same thing against the Atlanta Falcons. Brad Holmes, he needs to be on the phone. There's no more ifs, ands, buts, maybes, nothing. I don't care if we come out and we sack the Raiders 17 times and now we're leading the league in sacks. That's one game. I'm being hyperbolic, of course, but don't let a couple sacks against the Raiders fool you into thinking we don't need a pass rush. A little morning for y'all, man. It's going to be a long week, but it's a much needed wake up call for not only like Detroit Lions fans. Like we're arrogant. We're not none of that stuff. We was feeling good. 4-game winning streak, feeling good. We should feel good. So let me know your thoughts, comments below, and we got videos, man. Take care of yourself and each other, and as always, go Lions.